So last week I talked about restarting my artistic journey and starting from basics, from the fundamentals, and then working my way up. So this is just more or less a quick rundown of that and just explaining how I will be going about that, because I know it's difficult for people to know how to structure these things when they're not being taught by someone. So maybe this could help you if you're in the same place as I am. So the thing with art is that it's one of those things you can't bullshit your way through. If you don't know what you're doing, it's going to show. And if you're learning anything and you're trying to become good at it, you need to have a good understanding of the moving parts, and that's what the art fundamentals are. They're the moving parts. They're the things that go into any good work of art. If you're trying to be an artist like I am, and you're trying to be a good one, you do need to understand what those moving parts are and how to use them properly, if you catch my drift. So the fundamentals, at least the ones that I will be working on over the next 6 months or so: line work or line art, construction and form, perspective, gesture and anatomy, light and shadow, composition, and color theory, in that order. So I will be going in that order. As for my approach, I've been trying to learn the fundamentals for a long time. I would say maybe about 3 years or so, and I always dip my toes in a little, and then maybe I get discouraged or I lose motivation, and then I just stop, and then it takes me maybe a few weeks or a few months, but then I pick it up again. And I think one of the reasons I struggle with it so much is because I didn't have a system. I didn't have something reliable that I could build and come back to over and over again. And if you're going to be consistent, you definitely need something to guide you through that. And if you don't have someone else being that guy for you, then you have to be that guy by yourself. So in searching for a way to go about this, I came across this video. I'll link it maybe up there or in the description box. I came across this YouTuber. She's an art YouTuber. I think her name is Neddy, and she has this method called the grand scheme method. And what that entails is basically taking a general thing you want to learn, breaking it down into subtopics as much as possible, and then focusing on one subtopic at a time. So you focus on one until you get the idea of it, until you can practice it and apply it. You have it down packed, and then you move on to the next subtopic. And then once you've covered all the other subtopics, you move on to the next topic. So I'll give an example of that right now. So let's say I'm studying perspective. Now under perspective, we have the linear perspective, we have the atmospheric. So what I've done now is that I've broken that down. I've broken the overall topic of perspective into 2 subtopics. And now under linear, we have 1 point, we have 2 points, we have 3 points. So we start with one subtopic. Let's say I want to study 1 point first. Study 1 point, when I have a good understanding of the theory behind one point and I can apply that comfortably, then I move on to 2 point, and then I do the same thing, move on to 3 point. So once I have a good understanding of linear perspective as a whole, then I can move on to atmospheric, and then I can break that down and study whatever subtopics I need to work on, and then move on to the next fundamental. I think this method is really helpful for people, for self-taught artists like us, because it gives us a foundation to build off of. It gives us direction, and like I said, because we don't really have a teacher guiding us and showing us, okay, this is what you need to do at this point and move on from here to here. It's important that we learn how to do that for ourselves. So this will be a 6-month thing, and the point of making it 6 months is more about building that base and giving myself a definite goal. The journey of an artist is not a definite thing. It's not something that has an end point that you get to and you say, this is it, I'm an artist, I'm never going to need to learn anything again, I'm never going to need to improve. It doesn't work that way. But because I'm so new to this, and because I'm trying to really make it a thing, I think it's just important to have that thing to go off of at the beginning, and then just see where I go from there at the end of the 6 months. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but at least as close to daily as I can. That's the idea. So I will be recording my progress and my experiences of what I'm learning and what I'm understanding, the struggles and everything, over the next 6 months. And I will be producing content about other parts of this journey, because it's not just the one thing. So I'm quite nervous and a bit intimidated, but I'm really excited, because this has been such a huge dream of mine, and to be able to start to make that come true is very, very important.